What's up, everybody? It's Ryan, aka EcoBoosted, working on my second video. So, as I'm trying to get this channel up off the ground, I'm spending a lot of time thinking about what I want my channel to be about. And I think the main focus is going to be about the Ford Mustang and the EcoBoost model. But also, I think I'm going to try to steer it towards product reviews, specifically of the parts and the upgrades that I do to this car. And then, driving impressions at different milestones. This car's still new, obviously. I've only got 1,800 miles on it. I have been using it primarily as my daily driver. Mostly just to get the miles on it, to really learn the quirks, both the pros and any cons that this car may have. And it's not without fault. And I knew that going into it. I did a lot of research on this car before I walked into the dealership, and ultimately bought it. But I think one of my first gripes, and it's not really a gripe with Ford or the car, but more so fuel suppliers. This car best performs on 91 octane, but you can run it on 87, which is convenient if you're in areas where you can't get to higher octane fuels. I do plan on buying a tuner, and right now I've got my eye on Cobb's Access Port 3. I think that one offers a lot of great features compared to some other ones that are out there. I really like the option for the 5-way on the map, the 5-way live map switching. Go from aggressive to econo mode simply by hitting a button on your steering wheel, which is, quite frankly, I think cool. But I haven't decided and settled in on buying it just yet. Plus, it's $500, and I'm still coming to terms with my monthly payment on this. So I'm definitely trying to stage out my purchases. But my gripe, like I said, isn't with the car, but in order to get the best performance out of this car, you want to run the higher octane fuels. Now, I live on the East Coast, specifically Southeast PA, and all through this area, Sunoco fuel stations carry 93, and most of them carry 94. But they're not everywhere, which means if I want specifically 93 octane, or if I want to go with a 94 octane, I have to sometimes go out of my way. Now, fortunately, there's a Sunoco 5 minutes from my house, which is great when I'm at home. But when I'm out and about and I'm on the road, they're not always where you want them to. But then we have in this area a large chain. Anybody from the East Coast is familiar with Wawa, and they are a spectacular convenience store. They put...
Okay, alert.
Thanks, dear. They put all other convenience stores to shame. I think the only one that can come close to competing with it is maybe Sheetz. And that's further out west. We don't have a lot in this area specifically. But Wawa has 92 octane. Why 92? I mean, really, come on, Wawa. Let's go with the flow. So that leads me to a potential problem. If I go with a nice tuner and put the 93 octane tune in, I've got to plan out all my trips so that I am around 93 octane. Plus, the other thing I would like to know, and if anybody knows the damages before I get a chance to look it up, what happens if you run 92 octane or 91 octane on a 93 octane tune? What's the potential damage? I'm pretty sure detonation is definitely a possibility. But what other side effects are there? So post in the comments below if you know, or a link I can look it up later. I'd appreciate that. All that being said, fortunately, and I've noticed a lot of YouTubers, especially those in the Central Plains area and further west, find it more and more difficult to locate 93 octane. And as I understand it, some don't even carry it. So you're stuck with 91 as your highest. So I count myself as fortunate living on the East Coast right now for those reasons. Now, how does this car run on premium fuel? Well, I've only run it. I've probably filled it up maybe 5 or 6 times since I've owned it. Maybe a little bit more. I've lost count. I'm averaging about 250 to 300 miles to a tank, so you can do the math there. 4 or 5 times I've filled this car up now on 1,800 miles. And I've only ever put 93 or 92, and I didn't even realize I was putting 92 until I looked at the pump the one day at Wawa, and it said 92, and I was like, whoa. But that fact aside, I have noticed some ups and downs with the performance between the two, especially considering at the Sunoco right around my house, they have 94, and I go right to that one. I'm also curious, again, if anybody knows this, what are any long-term effects or negatives to bouncing back and forth between 92, 93, and 94 octane? I'd love to know. My truck, which is a Chevy S10 pickup with the Vortec 4.3, that's only ever seen 87. Biggest reason, it has a bigger tank than this. It has an 18.5 gallon tank. It has a 15.5 gallon tank, and those extra 3 gallons make a difference in the price tag. When fuel in this area hit over $3, hitting close to $4, it was costing me upwards of 60 to 70, sometimes $80 to fill my tank. Let alone put premium in it. Forget that. That just never considered that. But this year, she's been a premium baby since I bought her, at minimum 91. The only thing I don't know about is the very first tank that the dealership put in it, because when I test drove the car, it had 12 miles left on the readout, which makes me wonder just how many gallons of gas does Ford ship these with. Probably a quarter tank, I'm guessing, if that. The car only had 33 miles on it when I bought it, 33, 37 is what I think when I got done my test drive, and then they filled it up and washed it for me. You know, so it's almost 40 miles by the time I actually got in it to leave that day. But I don't know what they put in it, so. But I also wasn't beating on it either. You know, I didn't wait till I really didn't start getting on it until I hit that 1,000-mile mark. So if anybody knows any of the answers to the questions, adverse effects of 91, 92, 93 and bouncing back and forth, or if you have a tuned for 93 octane fuel and you are stuck with 92 or 91, what are the potential side effects of running the lower octane fuels? Anyway, that's it. Just a little gripe for today. In my first video, in the comment, in the description, I said that my general plan is to get these videos out once a week. And I'm certainly going to shoot for that. I have this coming weekend and the weekend after is going to be tight for me, and I may not get videos out, and I apologize ahead of time. And the reason being is my brother's getting married, and his bachelor party and his wedding are a week back to back. So normally I try to do my shooting over the weekend because I work during the day, and although now the day's starting to get longer, it's almost 6 o'clock and it's beautifully sunny out right now, and it's 57 degrees, which is awesome. Had the windows down before I started my video. But so the next couple weekends are going to be pretty tight. I also intend on doing some reviews on some of the stuff I've done so far, which, if you remember from that first video, was at this point just some LED upgrades. And I did buy a radar detector, which you can't see. I'm pointing at it. It's like right there. But I'll talk about what I bought and what I think of it in a later video. That might be a driving video. That might be just sitting in my house talking with you guys. I don't really need to review the window tint. That's kind of self-explanatory. The guy I got it from is out in, I think it's Spring City, Pennsylvania. It's called The Tint Guy. He's got a Facebook page. You can look him up. $190 to tint this car. I got 20 on the windows, and I've got, I think, 35 on the back. I could have gone darker in the back, but my last Mustang was a little darker, and it was a little tricky to see. I wanted it just dark enough that at night it took, really adds to the sleek look of this car. Black car, tinted windows. Looks pretty nice. She's dirty right now, though. Let me tell you. Being a daily driver and all this salt and fun. So yeah, leave your comments below. I appreciate anything you guys have to say. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Until next time. My God, she gets up and goes. I don't know how I want to end this video. Blooper.